Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to the International Pitch Competition. Let's get some energy in the room right now. Clap your hands. Thank you. Pitching is very, very hard, very nerve-wracking, so let's please stay positive and give lots of great energy. My name is Peter Rothenberg. I am the former head of editorial for Tech in Asia, Japan, and currently I'm starting my second company right now. We do craft beer support for Japanese craft beer, so come talk to me later. But first, let's introduce our amazing judges. First up, we have Alan Miner, CEO of SunBridge. Next up, we have Oscar Kneppers, founder of Rockstart. We have Christina Teo, chief builder of She1K and founder of WantThingsDone. And finally, we have Chris Kommatas, head of innovation and strategic partnerships, the Health Roundtable, and founder of the Melbourne Health Accelerator. Thank you, judges. Okay, everyone, are we ready to get started? I'm ready to get started. Our first presenter is Alice Jacob from Luck.
Hi everyone, I'm Alice from Luck. Today, I will discuss a topic with you, Industry 4.0. So you can ask yourself if it is the industry of future or the future of industry. But either way, innovation exists to overcome the issues of global industries. The first is about operator efficiency. Searching for lost assets is time-consuming and make the operator less productive. The second, about the assets management. Inefficient maintenance is costly. Supply chain fluidity, a low visibility of goods in and goods out could make deliveries not on time for the clients. And at last, the work in progress tracking is always manual and make human interaction. So how to solve it? In a market, there are main two solutions, the active solutions and the passive solutions. About the passive solutions, it is related to RFID and barcoding. That is always an identification of items, but not a location. If you want to locate the items, you can have active solutions based on Wi-Fi, BLE, LoRa that propose accurate tags, but there are batteries inside. And a matter of batteries, that is, battery means added cost, added maintenance, and costly infrastructures. So, Luck is a hybrid. It's the only tracking solution, batteryless, for locate thousands of assets. And how it works? There are three parts of the system. The first part is the tag. A batteryless tag with 30 centimeters of accuracy. It's small, robust, and low cost. The second part of the system is a beacon, easy to install, with two main roles, a role that energizes the tag and a role that receives the ID of the tag. And a third part is a user-friendly platform that allows to have 2D or 3D mapping layouts. How it works? Is so simple. There are several apps on the platform, easy to install, easy to understand, and you can integrate all the data in an ERP that you already have. It's very data value for the customers. And about the partners and the customers that we have, all our partners are important players in the industrial sectors. We have 50 clients worldwide, deployed in Europe, North America, and Asia. And they choose us for improve the supply chain fluidity, to have more visibility on the asset they have, and to deliver on time the clients. Unlock is scaling up on important deployments worldwide. We have a presence in 15 countries, and we have the strength on 15 patents. Unlock is about creating a solution for tracking a global standard worldwide for low-cost geolocation. So if you believe as us that Industry 4.0 is the future, contact us and see together how to make profitable benefits for your production sites. Thank you.
Okay, judges, we have one question.
Only one.
It's decide amongst yourselves. We can share and care if we have room.
So the question is actually one to the organizers as well as you. Is there a requirement to win this competition that you be a startup, in quotes? And then the related question to you would be, in what way do you describe yourself as still a startup rather than an established emerging company?
We are a startup. We were first in the biz lab of Airbus initially to help them to enhance our growth and our patents and all of that.
When was this company founded?
2015. 15 in Airbus.
No, it isn't.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's our one question. It's a one question. The most important question. But in the Japanese environment, Uniqlo getting their RFID tags was a big deal. But most of the Japanese logistics sector is still very, very legacy. So I'm sure Unlock has a lot of potential and a lot of people who want to talk afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Raman Kumar from Narag Street. Please come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Raman Kumar, founder and CEO of Narag Street, trust-based community for learning and clinical practice exclusively for Ayurveda doctors. Popularly, the world has three kinds of medicine system. They have Western medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, and traditional Indian medicine, that is Ayurveda. It's 5,000-year-old, herb-based traditional Indian medicine. So in last 3 decades, most of us have seen sentimental shift going to traditional medicine, herb-based medicine, because it has been helping for various chronic disease such as atopic, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer cure, geriatric cure, etc. The market has been growing. In 2007, it was $1 billion. In 2017, it became $3.5 billion market and expected to become $8.5 billion by 2022. It has 600,000 qualified medical graduates, 300 plus colleges, and 18,000 plus new graduates every year. Despite this, the adoption is low, and the reason is trust. People trust the system of medicine, but they don't trust the doctors and the medicine. The reason is fake doctor and the fake medicines. For 600,000 qualified doctors that we have over 3 million doctors who practice without any degree and what we call quacks. This is a big problem for Indian healthcare system, and all of us are aware that Indian healthcare infrastructure is in very bad condition. I experienced the same problem while going through my own hepatitis C treatment when I was diagnosed, and I was bedridden for 1.5 years, 1.5 years to be precise, and then I realized what the problem is, what the solution is, and then I am going to change that. That's the belief that I developed, along with my amazing co-founders, my mentors, and Japanese investors that we have. So Nirogi Street Ayurveda ecosystem has doctors, pharmacies, and clinics all using Nirogi Street technology stack. App is an important part of our engagement, where we have learning, engagement, and networking happening in a peer-to-peer environment. Everything happens in peer-to-peer. E-commerce. Quality medicine and fake medicine is a big problem in India, so doctors and clinics have real-time access to our inventory for their clinics. Another important is certified. So what we do is the doctors we get, we certify them and give them access to all the services we have so that they can focus on practice. And this is evident from the success we had just in last 12 months. We have 21,000 plus doctors on our platform, roughly 4% of entire doctor without any marketing. 70 plus average case studies, 300 plus doctor communities, 20 plus medical courses in which 7,500 plus doctors have enrolled, 11 minutes of average user session, and 2,000 plus daily active users. So while we are creating unparalleled impact, we are a strong business. It is evident from the fact that we started in July 2018 commercializing our platform, and we clocked total sales of $60,000 USD in February 19. And I'm telling the reason, we don't want money once in a year or advertising. What we are doing, we are giving everything, learning to certification, complement to the doctors, and locking them in to have their entire pharmacy needs from us. In a nutshell, Nirogi Street is aggregating all the doctors, giving them access to technology, certifications, knowledge, and most important, access to medicine to create better clinical practice which is trusted by everyone, and creating better solution for 1.25 billion Indians and the world. Thus, impact which creates amazing business for all of us. Thank you so much.
So what is your business model? I mean, how are you charging?
Most of these clinics have their own pharmacies where they sell medicines. Quality medicine is a big problem because of unorganized sector, a lot of fake medicine enter the system. These clinics and the doctors have access to our inventory in real time through our technology. So everything that the doctor needs, they buy from us. So they have access to medicines, they have access to learning from us. So we lock in for their 100% of the supply through us. And that's the business model we have.
You mean you take commission from goods sold? Or you don't charge any subscription to the doctors as using? Or, do you provide a total booking platform? I mean, I'm not getting how you get your $60,000 revenue.
Yeah, so this is through medicine sales that happens to the pharmacy. So we have our own pharmacy through which these doctors have access to quality medicines real time. Right. So they don't have to store, and they use our system for their all medicine needs. So we don't charge a subscription fee, but we lock in them for 100% of their medicine requirement at their pharmacy for the patients. Thus creating trust. So
what would be the margin for your medicine sale?
It is about 20% is what we have.
Okay, thank you very much. There are a lot of healthcare startups working on new drugs, but none of that matters if you can't trust your pharmacy or your doctor. So I'm looking forward to Nirogi Street helping billions of people. Next up, we have Predict Vision, Gilberto Takata.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gilberto Takata. I'm the founder and CEO of the Predict Vision. Just some background from the history. Currently, we are supported and incubated by one of the best hospitals in Latin America. We are also part of the MARS in Canada. So MARS is one of the largest health innovation hub in the world. We are also in Portugal in partnership with Nova Medical School from Lisbon. We are also supported by the NVIDIA Inception program. And we just recently opened the US office, and we are exploring the opportunity to open a branch here in Japan. We just closed a Series A deal. We raised the $30 million US. So to help us exactly fight which problem, whom of you never doubted about a doctor diagnosis? What happens is when you choose a doctor, you choose based on his profile. So when it comes to the medical imaging diagnosis, if you take the same image, you show to different doctors, most probably you have different results. Why? Because it's heavily based on the individual bias. It means that each doctor, they have their own training, they have their own experience, and they have their own knowledge. Not only that, there is also personal issues. If they are stressed, they are in a hurry. So there are many factors that can impact your diagnosis. Not only that, we see that the technology itself can benefit the society. So we can take our technology to areas that there are no doctors or no specialists. Our main value proposition here is to assure that patients have always the correct diagnosis through the AI support. The main point here is the word support. We are not here to replace doctors. We are here to help doctors. So our system is to help them do a better job, do a better diagnosis, and let them focus on the patients and the technology do the manual and repetitive tasks. So what we do, we work on the data and we work on the image. It's an AI cloud platform. So on the medical data, we take chaotic data because usually hospitals and healthcare institutions, they don't have organized data. We work, we organize, we classify, we filter, and then we take information from there. As an example, for example, we found out that people that suffer a stroke, some of the patients, they had an eye exam 3 months ago. So what happened is there is a link between one product that they use during the eye exam that one of the side effects is a stroke. On the image side, we work on the neurology. So we are able to identify through the machine if there is a bleeding or not. It's very critical because during the emergency, if there is a trauma or there is a fall, people need to take an image brain, and it's very important for the doctor to know if there is a bleeding or not, so they can send the patient to the ICU very quickly. We also work on the retina, so we are able to diagnose diabetic retinopathy. It's when the diabetes starts to impact the eyesight, and also we are able to diagnose different kind of diseases as well. Here is an example. On your left side, you can see a retina, and the right side, you can see what the computer found. They are microneurons that it's very difficult to see by a human eye. We work on the oncology as well. Lung cancer, breast cancer, prostate, and skin cancer. It's very important that it's detected at the early stage so the treatment can be effective. So here's an example of mammography, the computer looking and finding some microcalcification. We also work together with a pharmaceutical company to diagnose rare disease. Rare disease is very difficult to diagnose, so we use facial recognition, we use eye scan, and we use brain images. So we are able to join all the information to exactly find out if the person will have in the future a rare disease. For example, in Brazil, there are 30 million people that suffer rare disease, but they are not aware that they have such kind of pathology. Thank you. Let's see.
Congratulations. Very impressive. question I have for you is healthcare data is usually proprietary and sits within electronic medical records, which are housed by big companies like Cerna and Epic and Allscripts. How are you partnering to get access to that data? Because that image of the paper files are prevalent in some countries. A country that would be utilizing your AI technology, or a health system, I should say, would probably have an electronic medical record. How do you access those medical records? And are you partnering with any of the medical record companies at the moment?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. We are having a lot of issues with the vendor suppliers. For example, GE, they are refusing to give us data, the image access. So what will happen is we need to sit together with the partners. We need to see how commercially they have their contract, because what happens is they have their system, they have the packs, they have the RIS, but they have the database. So what happens is we don't go through them, but then we go directly to the database. So this is a workaround to find out how to work with that. But in that case, I mean, what happened is institutions, they didn't solve value on the data before. So when they go to the contract, they signed it. It's written there that the data belongs to the vendor, not to the institution. So it's a very difficult situation. Yes, that's true. Not only that, some institutions that they have electronic health records, but when we go to Latin America, they don't have it at all. So it's a chaotic scenario. We go to the customers, we ask for the data. Some people tell us to talk to the secretary because she has it in CDs or even in papers. So it's a situation that sometimes we cannot implement our system just because of that problem. So one thing that we always try to build is a trust. So we always tell them that you cannot start building a house starting from the roof. They need to start from the base. So they need to sort it out. So there is no way we can do anything.
Okay, thank you very much. The faster we can diagnose people, the faster we can get them the service that they need. So I'm sure that AI technology will be supporting our healthcare way into the future. Next up, we have Brian Hu from PokeGuide.
Hello, konnichiwa. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Brian Hu, co-founder of PokeGuide. So I just want to ask a question like, how many people travel themselves? It is quite common nowadays, right? Because with the rise of mobile app and mobile technology, people do not need tour guide anymore, but they travel on their own. So that's why some famous startups like Cook, K-Day, Traveloka, they are famous startups in Asia. They have raised a lot of money and sell tickets to tourists for the travel tickets. But the first question is rather like, what is the main pain point of tourists? It's rather like getting lost in stations like Osaka station, which is very complicated to me. And then like which exit I should go, because like, say like in Osaka, there are so many exits, which one I should go? Or like when I read the Japanese map, do I really know how to get there, how to get to my destination at all? So this is rather the principal problem, the main key pain point that people encounter every day. And that's why we're here to solve the tourists, the main problem with our app that can help them to go inside and outside of the metro. So let me show you how it works. For example, now I'm searching the restaurant. So it's a famous place in Taiwan. So I will calculate and tell you that you should exit number 1. And then when I leave the train, I can have some preview with my app, because my app has a virtual reality navigation thing that shows you a preview, like Google Street View, how you can go from place to place. And then my app even tells you should stand on the first and third door, so that when you leave the train, you find it so magic, the escalator just next to you, and then the escalator will go to the nearest exit that you should go. And then when you go up on the road, we can use the augmented reality navigation. So you just follow the balloon, and then you just head to that direction. You don't need to read map anymore, because we just tell you to follow the balloon. So this is a new technology, augmented reality, that can solve all the problems that people may find hard when they are reading the map. So life becomes much easier with our whole suite of technology that can help you. To recap, our virtual reality, the first in the world that used this technology to simulate how you should get around and escape the maze-like stations. Our specialized algorithm to tell you which exit you should exit, and also the augmented reality. And actually, it is backed by our AI algorithms because when you are going along the way, we recognize the buildings by our image recognitions, and then we determine whether you are going on the right way or wrong way at all. So it supports 7 languages, so that for tourists traveling to Osaka and Japan, or for you travel all around the world, this app can help you. So just download it, and that's why it goes up to the top 3 downloads in iOS and Google Play Store. And currently we have over 250,000 users, save over 50 million minutes. So our monetizing way is a little bit different and interesting. So for example, when now I'm heading to Universal Studio, a coupon pop-ups like it's very interactive pop-up and say that you can enjoy a 50% discount. So it's very relevant to me because now I'm heading to Universal Studio, and that's why I click it. And I don't need to queue for longer anymore. So this is a very interactive, interesting, not a traditional advertisement anymore. And that's why our customers and our advertisers also love it. It includes large shopping malls, consumer brands, marketing agencies, restaurants, all sorts of it. So we are graduated from the famous Accelerator program in Asia, also won the Hong Kong and Asia Pacific ICT Award, and named Australian Hottest Stars as well. So we are a team internationalized from 6 countries, from multinational corps. We are solving the problems from tourists all around the world. We are now raising $1 million US for 12% stakes, and we are backed by Alibaba and angel investors at this moment. So just imagine a future how augmented reality can help you. So this is a place everyone knows, I mean. And then with augmented reality, we show you quickly, like, okay, this one you should go. This is a very straightforward way. How do you make the decision? We want to make you feel like traveling to our place, like going hometown. Thank you.
Beautiful product. Reminds me of an AR solution a couple of years back, but the technology wasn't good enough, and I guess you're there right now. But then still, I see you walking around with your phone in your face like that, and it's hard. So wouldn't you be interested in sort of reviving Google Glasses or something, like another way, another interface to use this? What could you be thinking of? What else is possible instead of a mobile device?
Oh yeah, this is a good question. Actually, I'm a strong fan of Google Glass because I was watching Dragon Ball.
You were or you were not?
I am.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I was watching Dragon Ball, and then Dragon Ball, there is a thing like this one to see the HP value. So it's like, I really love it. And actually, at the very beginning, we determined to build applications on it. But later on, it scrubbed. So that's why we put it on the phone. But our future is like, it is any smart device. So it can be even a smartwatch and stuff to have for navigation. And then when people are using it, we expect it's like this. Currently, I tell you should go on that way. And then I would hands down and then go along the way first and then check the next.
So for AR, you use it, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the way, the user experience should be like, first I check, oh, you should go on this way. And then when I walk for a while, and when I walk in, I know I'm heading that way. And then for the next crossroad, then I see again whether I should go straight or turn right. So it is the usual user experience that people are using our app.
Okay, I'm allowed to ask one question, but I'll put in another one. So
is it a follow-up question?
Who's providing you with the content? If you have like different countries, are local publishers providing you with the content, or how do you team up with them?
Yeah. Oh, actually, for the content, first of all, we are subscribing to several data providers, but we also web crawling the public available image of the buildings, and then use our AI deep learning engine to learn the buildings and to to calculate from different angles so this is the way that we can scale up.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I have a terrible time finding my way out of the subway, so this also does, I believe, have a lot of application in wearables. Okay, next up we have Ong Siu Hua from Acumen Research Laboratories.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. It's a great honor to be here today. My company, Acumen Research, our mission is to conquer sepsis. So what is sepsis? This is a devastating health burden and very terrible disease. It starts with infection that becomes very severe, and it becomes a whole body inflammation. This results in the immune system causing a lot of damage to the body itself, including organ dysfunction. You can see that in all around the world, including Japan, China, USA, the numbers of cases every year is very big, and about 30 to 60% of these people will die. And all over the world, the healthcare costs add up to estimated $90 billion a year. Sepsis is very hard to diagnose. In Japan, sepsis is also a very important healthcare agenda. I've attended conferences, medical conferences in Japan. This is a big topic here. The government also tries to address this issue at the highest level. There are a lot of superbugs these days because the bacteria acquire antibiotics resistance, also called antimicrobial resistance. So all over the world, we are trying to tackle this issue. So as a technology entrepreneur, we want to contribute to this important unmet need in the medical world. The biggest problem with sepsis is that it is very hard to detect or to diagnose when it is at an earlier stage. But when it becomes clinically obvious, where the signs and symptoms are obvious, it is then quite severe and can be very hard to treat, sometimes very quickly irreversible. That means patient die. The problem today is that there is not a good single standard test for sepsis. It is very hard, but the doctors can only depend on guidelines and signs and symptoms such as the temperature, heart rate, the white blood cell count, the breathing rate, and so on. So it's very difficult. It is a very time-critical condition. Every hour counts. So can affect young people, old people. In fact, old people are very vulnerable because they have a weakened immune system. Similarly, people who have cancer on chemotherapy or diabetes. But all of these are the big chronic illnesses of the world today. So what is the way today then sepsis is being confirmed by the doctor? We don't have a very good way. It is called the bacteria blood culture. It is very manual test. Take the blood, put in a bottle, send to the laboratory to grow. The lab staff will inspect day after day and see what happened. The yellow boxes here represent the different steps. It is very problematic. It takes time. People die even before the results come out. So what we do in our laboratory, we took on the discovery. We want to completely bypass the bacterial culture method. We took on the strategy of using the human genes, the genes that are in our body, in the white blood cells, because the white blood cells is the immune system that will fight the infection. These genes are changed in their expression pattern, the relative activity, when the patient is infected and when the patient has sepsis. So basically, the human has about 33,000 genes. We did a series of R&D to filter to a final 19 genes. These are what we call the sepsis genes, and we compute the expression levels or patterns of these genes into a single score. If you look at this dotted line here, below this score, we know with the doctor will know this person doesn't have sepsis, above sepsis alert, red flag. So we transform a very conventional, laborious method to a digital method that can help us categorize, to to get the test score and make a diagnosis so that the doctor can use the antibiotics correctly. And it's an automated test. It takes only 4 hours. We are going to use different methods. We have the technology to do it. We have the market. We have a lot of partners. I try to learn as much as possible about Japan because we want to come and work in Japan with our technologies and the partners here. We want to help people to live longer, more meaningful lives with our technology. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Yes.
Now we have time for our one question.
Yes.
I have 1,000 questions.
Well, you get one.
Well, yes. You kind of went. We ran out of time, so you kind of went through this the end. Probably some of the real good questions are in there. The big thing is, obviously, sepsis is a huge issue, and it affects lots of hospitals, and it affects care, quality of care, and cost. My question is around the approval pathway. So you are looking at clinical trials, validation, FDA, JFDA, TGA, CE marking. Where are you in that pathway? And how long is it going to take to bring that into, not from the bench, not from a research perspective, but actually getting it in point of care diagnostics?
Yes, for each country, the regulatory approval would require that a clinical trial be conducted in the local hospitals. For our tests, each clinical trial typically requires about 200 to 300 patients, so there are a lot of sepsis patients. So such a clinical trial may need about 1 to 1.5 years, and the regulatory approval process another 1 to 1.5 years. So this is the full registration route. In every country, for important tests like this deemed to be saving lives, there are fast track to it. It is called the lab-developed test. So we can establish our own presence or with partners, the central testing labs that will license our technology and implement that as a lab-developed test. So the regulatory body will control the quality of this lab rather than of the full registration of this test because it is deemed to be saving life.
Kind of a follow-up question. We also, what you're doing though with genomic testing versus traditional lab testing and pathology testing potentially could extend that timeline because it's genomic testing, which is a bit different. And it also affects the normal pathology workflow. Are you partnering with pathology labs in the countries that you're in or that you're targeting to be able to get early indications of whether or not they will allow that or they will allow that to happen within their health systems or hospitals?
Yes, this is already implemented in Singapore. So it is implemented through the microbiology labs, a subset of the pathology lab. The tests are ordered by the doctors, implemented in the labs.
Okay, thank you very much. Careful. So drug research has a lot of world-changing effects, but oftentimes it might focus too much on the money, so it's great to see more and more early detection coming out. Our next presenter coming up is Kaito Iwakami from Reino.
Please let me introduce my episode. When I was in high school 4 years ago, I did a part-time job at the restaurant that is one of the biggest chain stores in Japan. At first, I liked my job, however tough it is, because I liked serving customer service. However, as time went by, I've got unsatisfied with that. Since there aren't enough people who work at the restaurant, I was usually left alone as a waiter. So sometimes I often let customers wait because I had a lot of work to do. Sometimes I made them angry. Even though I worked hard, my salary didn't go up and I was getting exhausted. Finally, I hated my work. So, and there are many people who are in the same situation as well I was in. In fact, a lot of people are quit their job according to the government. And customers are also in trouble by increasing the numbers of the restaurants with fewer employees. Please remember, don't you have any experiences that it took a long time before having dishes when you went to a restaurant? I guess almost all people have such an experience, and it's so stressful. Sorry. Although restaurants owners spend from $100 to $1,000 on advertisement or recruitment per month on average to solve the problem, but they can't get enough employees, so I decided to solve the problem. Our solution is to reduce their work by replacing it with technologies. Our product, One Menu, a browser-based application that allows customers to order and pay without cash for themselves with their smartphone. Please let me explain more details about our service. Before you go to the restaurant, you can see the menu and you can find what you want to eat or drink with our application. And you can also, of course, you can order inside the restaurant, but you can also order outside the restaurant with it. And in 6 months, we'll finish developing a function to check availability of the restaurant on maps. And when you arrive there, you can inform it which table you got by reading the QR on the table. And with our application, you don't have to pay with cash because it's already done when you order, like paying on Amazon. After that, all you have to do is to wait for the waitress to bring you what you ordered. And we will reduce 30% of work in the restaurant, and then workers will be comfortable, and the restaurant's owner will be able to save their spending. And we provide stress-free service to the customers. We take 2.4% commission per each transaction using our service, and we use Stripe API, so our clients have to pay commission Stripe for that too. Okay, so I know what you want to ask to me. There are similar services, and it seems to be a red ocean. So how do we compete with other competitors? What our product is different from is to have better UX and UI. It's so simple to use, as you can see here. And we are aggressive to be a platform of the restaurant industry, and we are planning to cooperate with a famous CRM company, so we can offer a data analysis function or something like that to reform their business. And at first, we aim at 3 markets in Japan, as you can see here, but as soon as possible, we'll expand to other countries in Southeast Asia, such as Indonesia or Singapore. And we just launched the beta version last week, but we're going to carry out tests in this month, and in 6 months, we realize product market fit. Then we raise about $1 million to increase the numbers of our clients. Finally, I can believe we invade the restaurant industry. Thank you for listening.
As I understand it, you're getting rid of the personnel in the restaurant, right? So you were happy to have a job, but you're skipping personnel, and I'm doing it myself. Is that it?
Yeah.
Why not get my food myself at the kitchen then?
Sorry?
I'm trying to understand how you service the people that are serving in the restaurants. You're not, are you?
Yeah. As I worked as a waiter, then our service get rid of taking an order or dealing with cash or something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Ask again and I can translate. Okay, my question would then be, this is the same question, don't worry.
Sorry.
He will translate for you. This is helping the restaurant owner to get rid of personnel, more or less, only bringing food from the kitchen to the table, but that's it, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, very good. Restaurants have very low margins. A lot of them don't even exist for 5 years. So anything we can do to keep my favorite eateries open, I am very, very for. Next up, our presenter is Xiao Li from Fuyu.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Xiao Li from Fuyu, Singapore, and it's my honor to be here. So first of all, let's start with a question. So why does a visitor travel to a city once, twice, or multiple times? So my answer to this question is that because the city have many great travel experiences to offer. So at Fuyu, what we do is to create data platforms and digital solutions for cities and attractions to enhance the visitors' experiences. This is a roadmap for Singapore's Service 4.0 journey. So in the past, everything is very manual, but with internet, Service 2.0 become more efficient, and with 3.0, it will be enabled by the mobile technology. And for the Service 4.0, it will be enabled by emerging technology that creates seamless experiences. So for the travel industry, we actually identify the on-site travel needs, and then we use context-aware customer requirements plus our AI and digitalization solutions to create a Service 4.0 for the tourism industry. So this is what Fuyu Travel have. We have 4 core products that's actually combining together to create a solution for travelers to experience a more enhanced city. Yeah. So one of the first solution is called Smart Itinerary Planner. So it can actually create a personalized itinerary based on your profiling, interest, time, and budget. So for instance, if you have half a day in, say, Kyoto, and you are interested in the culture, and it can actually create the itinerary automatically for you. The other solution is called Smart Navigation System. The other solution is called Dynamic Suggestion System. For instance, if you are at the restaurant, but the place is very crowded, or maybe the weather suddenly rains, so the system will be able to give you suggestions based on real-time information. And then, for instance, to pick another restaurant or choose to an indoor activity. The third solution is called Smart Navigation System. So we provide various kind of navigation system, including GPS-based navigation system. And this is a video for AR navigation system. And we also have beacon and QR-based indoor navigation systems. The fourth but not least is the AI travel assistant, where it can actually give you personalized assistance based on your requirements. For instance, if you want to find the restroom nearby, or maybe suggest some attractions. And you can also ask for the local language if you actually don't understand the local language. So we have actually use cases in Singapore. It's in Sentosa. You actually, it's an attraction in Singapore which attract 19 million visitors per year. So actually, it utilize 3 of the core technologies that in Fuyu Travel. Yeah. And this is also implemented in one of the cities in Chongqing, China, which is a city-level scale app which serves more visitors to use the AI solutions. Yeah. So our team members are mostly from National University of Singapore, and our Professor Anthony Tong is a professor in the data mining, and he's an expert in the data mining field. Yes. For the founding stage, we just raised seed fund last year, and this year we were going to raise the Series A. Yeah. And for our future plan, actually the digitalization is going to double the market size by the year 2025, and it will be primarily driven by the emerging technologies such as AI and big data. So we hope that our solutions can expand to more countries other than Singapore. And our motto is stay lean and stay simple. And thank you for the presentation. Thanks.
So I find myself that when there's an application that can do many things, I end up not using it for anything. And so my question is, of the various things that your application can do, in your experience, what is the element that is getting people to use it for the first time and keep coming back to it? What's the strongest piece of the system in terms of the customer experience?
Okay. Actually, the strongest piece is called context. So for instance, when you are at this location at this time, this is when you need certain services. For instance, if you are in the hotel, you may need to find the nearby restaurants. And if you are in the airport, maybe you want to find the best way in terms of transportation to the city. So from my understanding, the context is the most important factor for using like. Yes.
So then the other question, I'm going to do my follow-up.
Yes.
We're all taking 2 questions each, and there's time on the clock that says I can. So my other question then is, I'm also lazy.
Yes.
And in order to get the context, my understanding is I have to put in an itinerary. And that by the combination of my itinerary and where I am is what gives it the context to give advice. What if I'm lazy and I'm just carrying around my phone and I give it no itinerary context, but it knows where I am? So my question is, how lazy can I be and still get valuable context?
Okay, yes. So basically, we have another core feature within the itinerary planner. It's called itinerary subtraction. So it will abstract the itinerary from other people's itineraries. For instance, like you see, oh, this other people's itinerary is so fitting for me. So you can just abstract. And then with some of the content, if you don't want, you can delete, and then you can go. So it's within a few seconds. Yeah, you can.
So you have a user-generated itinerary suggestion feature. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So with more and more inbound tourists coming to Japan, a lot of people are looking for a traditional Japanese experience. So I'm looking forward to using your app here. Next up, we have Nidhi Matter from Nirame Health Analytics.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nidhi from Nirame. We are an artificial intelligence-based health tech company which is focused on the issue of breast cancer. Now, some of the stats are very well known. This is the largest cause of breast cancer. This is the largest cause of mortality in women due to cancer. In fact, 1 in 8 women is likely to develop breast cancer or another breast abnormality in her lifetime. And we lose 500,000 women to it globally. This figure is even more shocking when you see it in the light of breast cancer being the most manageable form of cancer. The survival rates are 99%, upwards of 99% actually, if detected early. But this if detected early is something that doesn't happen, and that's what we are focused on. It can vary to multiple extents. US, UK are at 80 to 90% survival rates. Country like mine, which is India, is at a 50% survival rate, which means we lose 1 in 2 women to a disease which has a 99% chance of a woman who should not have died out of it. And early detection is what then we are focused on. To give you another view of it, 2 billion women worldwide need to get screened for breast cancer every year, but the number of screening that actually happens are less than 200 million, which means less than 10%. Majority of it in developed market. India, for example, only 1% of women get any form of breast cancer screening done, primarily being a hand examination. This is as high-tech as we are when it comes to breast cancer detection. I'm sorry. Some of the reasons we are talking about here, which is what is causing this cancer detection rates to be so low. In India, as you can imagine, affordability and accessibility are indeed two major factors why women do not get breast cancer screening. But apart from that, a lot of women are also discouraged by the fact that the experience of getting a breast cancer scan done is painful, involves radiation, which is scary. Also, it doesn't work for most of the women. For example, women who have dense breast, which is 50% of women in US. My research says over 70% women in Japan have the physiology which they have dense breast where technologies like mammography do not even work, and I'll show you why. So if you see mammography, if you have breast structure like this, which is largely fatty breast, it's okay, you can find a white spot if it is there. But most of the women who have breast structures like these, where you are trying to find a white spot in a predominantly white scan, right? And the likelihood of this spot getting missed if you have a breast structure like this is very high. A lot of women get missed. Even US is changing laws to say these things have to be prevented. And this is what then we are focused on. We are saying, how can we come up with a breast cancer screening modality which is non-contact, does not involve radiation, which is very comfortable so that more women come forward for getting a very regular scan done. And incidentally, men get breast cancer too. So it should work on men as well, ideally. Along with that, specifically if you look at Arab countries, India, a lot of countries where women are very hesitant to take off their clothes and let a stranger examine their breast, can we make an experience privacy aware? So the way we do the breast cancer screening, not just it is non-contact, non-touch, non-radiation, we don't even see the woman who we screen. And this is what we have developed. We have taken an age-old technology of thermal sensing, which essentially says, if the cells in my body at any point are dividing very, very rapidly, abnormally, that is what the fundamental property of malignancy is. And that also increases the metabolism and generates a heat signature, which is what thermography is, where people have been traditionally trying to see if there is a heat map. Can I see a heat map and be able to tell? But that is very, very error prone. And if you see, if the heat map is like this, you can easily tell, but most women will have heat map like this. So this is the model that we have developed, how we can analyze various scans and be able to come up with a model that can accurately scan this heat map and be able to tell with very high accuracy whether or not this red spot is due to malignancy or not. We have 7 US patents. We have filed these patents in Japan as well now and developed this AI model that generates a completely automated diagnostic report. It's being used by a number of hospitals and diagnostic centers. It is also being used by a number of NGOs, cancer societies, because it's a small portable equipment that can be taken to rural areas as well.
Did the Niramai technology to me. Having heard about it, I went to get a checkup done.
I don't think I will be able to play fully, but I'll just flash.
I was quite skeptical before I went for the test. It took me by surprise because the machines didn't touch me. It was all happening from far away. जैसे eye test होते हैं ना, दूर से बिल्कुल वैसा.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all we have time for. If we want to see the rest of the video, we could make that a question.
So I guess I'm the obvious one to ask the question. Yes. So is this a B2B sell, right? So you're selling to hospitals, to doctors, and not, yeah? And then, so what's the cost of acquisition of customers? Because I think you need quite a lot of education and trust in this. So.
Yes, you are right. A lot of our efforts are in marketing, BD, and regulatory, right? We work a lot with regulatory bodies. We have approvals in India. We do a lot of clinical trials, publish our results. So our primary strategy is to develop these key opinion leaders. So we work with a lot of these key opinion leaders, and with them we do these work, which we'll anyway have to do. We do joint publications with them. We do a lot of conferences where we go present, etc. And primary customer acquisition happens through these channels, because these are the doctors who are coming to these conferences, they get to know about this, and then they come and approach us. So the idea is to generate more of an inbound, but large part of our sales efforts are direct. We have very recently started building our indirect channels, where we are working with people who are traditionally into, let's say, ultrasound distribution, right, or X-ray machine distribution, and we are working with them because they already have face time with radiologists, oncologists, etc., and we are selling through them to them.
How successful have you been in rolling this out?
So currently we have 20 hospitals in India who are currently using this, and they pay us on a usage fee. Every time they screen a patient, we capture 4 lakh data points per patient, which are sent to our cloud-based solution where we generate this report and we push it back to the hospital, and they pay us for every report that we generate.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Nirame is backed by some of India's top investors. So thank you for making early detection available to more and more people. Our next presenter is Seung Boom Yang from the Wave Talk.
Hello, I'm Seung Boom Yang from the Wave Talk. Okay, thank you for this opportunity. What's the most killing diseases? 600 million people are affected by bacteria and millions are dying. According to the WHO annual report, 10 million people are expected to die yearly from 2050. It's a major threat to human life. So what's the problem? Why don't we have a strict regulation or high tech to detect this bacteria and solve this problem? A bacteria in micrometer scale size usually double its number every 30 minutes. To be seen by human eyes, it has to be billions of them. So from 200 years ago, culturing achieved this by simply incubating the sample for 1 or 2 days using natural growth of bacteria. PCR, like precision method in the right side, artificially amplifying the bacterial material to detect it. However, it cannot distinguish from dead from live. That's why the culturing has been the golden standard for 200 years. So the main problem is that we don't have rapid solution to distinguish living bacteria. Culturing just takes so many times, and for conventional laser, the sensitivity is not enough to detect the low concentration bacteria, and PCR cannot distinguish living and dead. However, the Wave Talk is able to do this in a much faster time with a much better resolution compared to the conventional laser tech. And we are planning to upgrade our system to be comparable with the PCR while still distinguishing the dead and the live. When we expressed our technology, we have many recognition from the media. And this is the schematic of our core technology. So basically, at this moment, we can detect 100 to 1,000 cells in a milliliter scale. And using deep learning, we can detect 10 bacteria in a milliliter, and even distinguish its species. For now, our deep learning can distinguish 4 species, and we are planning to add this data to be 24 representative pathogens by end of this year. And our first product will be based on the industrial laser, and its application will be from industry to hospital. And this will be launched at the end of second quarter this year. And the next year, we're going to use the small diode laser and embed it into the infusion pump or dialysis system and home applications such as water purifier sensor or tap water sensor. So this is our market size. For instance, for the factory, they do 2 billion of culturing tests per year. Each takes $1. Then it makes 2 billion market potential. And it's just one, and we have other potential market as well. We are 2.5 years old company, and we have been engaging in number of negotiations with the global company in both Korea and overseas. And we have done several pilot projects last year. And this year, our target is to get some long-term contract with the global company. And this is the CEO, Young-Duk Kim, who successfully exited his first hardware startup in Korea and done licensing deal with Dow Chemical worth $25 million. And the co-founder, Professor Park, is the original inventor of this technology. And this is the key member of our team, and we have about 21 employees for now. Okay, They say there are 10 billion times of culturing are done yearly. So each culturing takes a half an hour to 1 hour of manual process. But with the WaveTalk, we can do it in less than a minute. So the working man-day is dramatically decreased. So this will be the customer benefit, and we're gonna sell the disposable kit at $1, which makes our market size. So earlier diagnostic with the WaveTalk will save time and save lives. Thank you for your attention.
I don't know if I'm even qualified to ask a question on this, but give it a shot. How are the 2 billion, 10 billion tests being done today? And what's the cost of the equipment, the processing, versus $1 for your kit? Obviously, there's still people involved, but how's it being done today?
Today, they done the culturing, as I showed you, and it's very similar with our material cost, but the man-day is dramatically shortened by our technology. They also use the same broth, like $1. They have a similar price, but the man-day is different.
Okay. Can I take his follow-up question just really, really quick? So you said you want to be comparable to PCR.
Mm-hmm.
Have you started conducting trials to compare your technology to PCR? I see you have lots of partners. Are you partnering specifically in healthcare, in environmental? What is your main target to do those PCR trials?
For PCR is for the medical application, and we are having a talk with the hospital in Korea. So we are enhancing our technology for sensitivity, and we are going to do the deep learning to distinguish the bacteria, which can be very comparable to the PCR. So it's in the process of research.
Okay, thank you very much. So microparticle and organism detection can not only save lives, but also help us keep innovating in more environmentally friendly ways. Our final presenter today is Yuya Kikukawa from No New Folk Studio.
Hi, I'm Yuya Kikukawa, CEO and founder of No New Folk Studio. We are developing smart footwear called Orphetrack. Now, life becomes art. This is our vision. Now, everyone wears shoes, so if shoes changes, our lives will change. And now the value of personal data is rising. The wearable device is important because it can acquire personal data without any operations. Especially in shoes, now everyone knows how to wear and no feeling of wearing, and the data of walking has a potential of your health condition. And this is Orphetrack. Now, Orphetrack is the world's first shoe log platform. Now, it can record and analyze every your step from sports to everyday life. And shoes itself is very normal. It is lightweight, flexible, and you can run every day. But it has a sensor in the midsole. It is 9-axis motion sensor and latest AI chip, and it can calculate every your step, like stride, speed, impact, angles, very precisely. It can be a kind of motion capture. And we are focusing on running market. There are 9 million people running in Japan, but over 30% of runners has a problem with knee pain. This pain is greatly related to the impact of running. So if runner can improve running method, it is very important for both the time and injury protection. So if you are top athlete, you can measure your running style using expensive and huge equipment, but it is very difficult for general runner. So we researched the correlation between olfactory data and conventional sensor data. And finally, we could develop the original algorithm to acquire the accuracy more than 96% in many running metrics. And this is smartphone application that just wearing these shoes and connect to the smartphone via Bluetooth and run, that you can record each step data in the running course. And not just making a log, you can play a game. So we are also developing VR game that you can study the efficient running form while enjoying video and music feedbacks. And we'll start selling olfactory now from this spring. And the price will be $250 about. And you can replace the shoes just by half price. It is very reasonable, but it is just profitable for us too. I started making smart footwear from graduated school age, and putting computer in the shoe was very hard. But the collaboration with many teams and experts, we could make smart footwear. And now we have very strong partners, laboratory, shoes maker like ASICS, and professional athlete, and we have a good quality of smart running shoes. And not just making smart footwear, we are also creating platform for personal foot data. And last year, we participated in the experiment of Mitsubishi UFJ Trusted Bank and about data bank platform. And at that time, we manufactured 1,000 pairs of olfactory with ASICS and collected 15 million footstep data from subject. And in the near future, these data are linked to, for example, insurance, hospitals, fitness, academic. So if you walk with olfactory, the data will be used to many other services. This is future. So I think this model can be applied, not just running, any other sports, from children to elderly people, the working style. So all shoes will be smart in the end. So if shoes changes, our lives will change. Thanks so much. That's it.
You wanted to walk away, I can see that, yeah. Beautiful product. So ASICS is involved. Did they invest as well?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, so you can sell it to Nike afterwards?
Yeah. Actually, now we aim to make a platform for Shurok platform. So
anyone can use it?
Yeah, anyone can use our technology.
Okay, so this was not a question. So my real question is, what is the most surprising piece of data that you found using this way more dense way of tracking? So what did you find that we couldn't see before with like traditional technology?
Yeah, actually, so our special point is maybe reliable, but the precise data about the running. So because in the before, the researcher can measure the landing using equipment, but it is in the laboratory. But we can record that kind of data outside. So this is a special point. But
so in a way, so if I would track everything I do with these shoes for 10 years, at some point using just my data alone, or maybe even correlating with other people's data, you could know when I'm about to have a heart attack, for instance, or when I'm walking differently, I don't know, anything, or have arthrosis in my foot. So you can get way more data, I guess, right?
Yeah, there are many researchers about gait cycle.
Yes,
and
yes.
This is very related to your health condition. Now, for example, the dementia that is related to your walking speed and stride.
Exactly.
So if you can track 10 years your speed, if your speed change suddenly, I can tell some supporter to analyze your condition.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, we've seen the Apple Watch has been helping some people visit the hospital early. Okay, we're doing amazing on time right now. So we're going to give some time to our judges. They have a very difficult situation to deal with, thinking about who's going to take home the gold prize this year. That looks like you have a question for me, but you're just getting serious. We're actually doing so well on time, we're going to take a little break until 5 p.m. So come back here in about 15 minutes, and we're going to go on. We have one more panel session for you guys. So let's give one more round of applause for all of our participants. And I'll see you back here at 5. Thank you very much.
Hello again, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Wait, everyone come back. It's the most important part.
It is.
Come inside.
Run now.
Come.
Run.
Up front. All right.
I know, the best seats are still available. Look at that.
I actually have some very good news that everyone will want to come inside to hear.
Yeah.
So this very good news is there's still some slots available at tomorrow where you can talk to the startups about business opportunities. Ooh. So if you have some large corporations out there who have some business opportunities they'd like to discuss with any of the startups that they saw today,
nice.
After we announce all the winners and we take our photos and everything, for 10 minutes after the event ends, you can go to uketsuke, go to the, whatever the English word is for
desk.
that, reception, thank you.
So good at English.
You can go to reception and you can sign up and you can have some business matching meetings with all of our startups who we saw today. So be sure, everyone, to go get your chance. Please, please, only serious business things. Let's not do Joho Kokan, okay? Please don't just ask for information. If you're seriously considering moving forward with a business idea, please sign up tomorrow. So you have 10 minutes after the event ends.
Perfect opportunity.
Yeah, great. We got some more people, so.
Yeah, nice one. So we have finally come to the very most exciting part
I want to leave
of today's
HackOsaka
event.
open. It looks good.
Are you coming over here? Oh, look
Yeah,
at
because
that.
that looks good.
Wow, is that your best side?
No, that's best side.
Oh, that's your
Yeah.
best side. Okie dokie. So, is everybody ready? It's very exciting, isn't it? The moment you've all been waiting for. We are going to announce the winners of the HackOsaka Award. It's for 2019.
2019.
I know. Amazing. Here we are. So, if everybody's ready, Peter.
Yes. Well, first, let's announce the bronze prize.
Okay,
So like the Olympics, bronze.
I know,
yes.
it's just like the Olympics. Heading up from bronze. So the bronze winner will receive a travel certificate for 100,000 yen, which can get you quite far, 100,000 yen.
It will get you around.
It will get you around.
Do we have a drum roll or something?
We absolutely do have a drum
Okay.
roll. Is everybody ready?
All right. And our bronze winner goes to Fuyu. Please come up on stage. Our amazing judge Chris will be presenting the prize.
Nice. And keep the applause going.
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Come on, come on.
There we go.
Thank
Look at
you.
that. Let me step back. Sorry.
Let's move over here. I think, are we taking a picture? Are we taking a picture of all the individual prizes?
Do we have the photographer there, maybe?
Well, you guys will take it and share it with us on Dropbox or something later. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the silver prize. Big round of applause. You can stay on stage.
Congratulations.
You can stay over here.
Do you want to stay on the stage? Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Let's stay over here, over on the right. Thank you.
There you go. Okay. More people on the stage, the merrier.
It's going to be good.
I know. So we're going to announce the silver prize winner. And the silver prize winner will receive a travel certificate for 200,000 yen. So that can get you twice as far as the...
Twice as far.
Yes.
It's good math.
I know.
Okay. I want to be surprised too, so I close it every time. Next is for our silver winner. It is No New Folk Studio.
Woo! No, nice reaction.
Thank you very much. So we'll let Kikukawa-san get on first. And our amazing judge, Oscar, will present the prize.
Congratulations indeed.
Keep it coming, keep it coming. Keep the energy, let's go, yeah! Silver, this is silver. It's good.
Sorry, can we borrow your mic to do the tour? Comments?
Oh, yes. Dropbox, Facebook.
Paparazzi.
We also wanted to get a short comment
Yes.
from our judge. Maybe we'll do that at the end, all together, or
from
twice
from
now.
the
Let's
prize
do it
winners?
twice
Yeah,
now.
from the winners, yeah.
Which mic do you prefer?
Off
Mine.
you go.
Why? We'd like to know more about your selection, please.
So I can comment on the silver prize. So I just checked my phone. I've been tracking my runs since 2010. It's about 1,300 runs with Runkeeper. And it's stupid. I know where it was, how long it is. I know what weather it was, what the height was, etc. And that's it. That's the only thing I know. And it hasn't changed ever since. So when we heard your story with all these rich data that you don't even know yet you can use later on, that is a significant reason for choosing this silver prize. Yeah. So again, yeah, congratulations.
And for us, it was around the typical traveler. I use, especially here in Osaka, Google Maps, but you're limited by what you can see and the dynamic nature, the smart nature of some of the current apps out there. So we just thought, again, the opportunity in the future to add some of the technologies and some of the smarts that we're putting in this system was worthy to kind of continue and to get recognition. So congratulations again.
Do we have any comments from the prize winners? Anything they'd like to say?
Do you have a comment about your prize possession?
Yes. Very exciting. Most exciting day of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot for Osaka, and thanks a lot for the judges, and it's really, really cool. It's my first time to be in Japan and in Osaka, and it's a really honored to be winning the prize. Thanks.
Thank you so much. In English, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Any language.
I'm very surprised at the result, but I'm very proud to be selected as a Japanese startup. So, and now we are collaborating with many Osaka's companies. So I'd like to. I'm based in Tokyo, but I'd like to do more exciting things with Osaka. So, thank you so much.
Fantastic.
All right, you can see he's getting excited. His shoes change.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh look, he's brought his own disco.
All right, here we go. Are you ready for gold? Going for gold.
Going for gold.
Tell me more about it.
So the gold prize winner, the winner, is going to be a travel certificate for 300,000 yen.
3 times as far.
Building our way up. There you go. So ready to get excited? Loving that.
Okay, our first prize winner goes to gold, not first. See, keep it coming.
Yeah,
you still don't know. Give me one more drum roll. Thank you. It goes to Nirame Tech Health Analytics Private. Woo! Woo! And our amazing Judge Christina will present the prize. Keep it coming! Keep it coming! It's coming more. Keep it. That was rehearsal. This is gold for gold. Going for gold. Okay, very good. And while we have you both here, we'd like to hear more about your selection.
First of all, I want to thank HackOsaka for including a female on the judging panel. And so glad to see 3 female founders pitching on behalf of all the judges. We were very impressed with this year's selection. And it was a unanimous vote for our grand prize. For myself, no bias whatsoever, I would say I like the fact that you are very focused on a specific problem you're trying to solve. And there's definitely a lot of upside because only 10% or less than 10% of women actually get their breast checked. And it's actually a recurring business because this is something we need to keep doing, right? So thank you for the big effort and really love the fact that you have already started to validate your product with 20 hospitals. That is a significant achievement, yeah? But the road is very long ahead. So we wish you all the success for great stamina to continue to every startup here as well and all those who have been part of this, yeah? Congratulations again.
Congratulations. Yeah, do you have that? Oh, sorry. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. As you rightly said, right, it's a really tough problem we are trying to solve, and we can use all the support we get. All these awards and all, I mean, it's more than what we get, right? It's more the support, more the validation, more the encouragement that we are getting from the ecosystem that keeps us going. As you rightly said, the road is long and tough, but this is the kind of support that has kept us going, and we hope to continue to get this kind of a support. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. There you go. So now, actually, we would like to add a little surprise because we have a new prize in the competition. Woo-hoo-hoo, how exciting. Best day ever. No,
I am stoked.
I know, me too.
Try to translate that.
I know. Yeah. Good luck with that. So glad to be here. So the Osaka Foreign Investment Promotion Center, OBIC, has decided to provide an OBIC Award, which will be a cash prize of 100,000 yen. And this is going to go to the startup that is most likely to break into the Osaka market. Very exciting, yes. Yay, go Osaka.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we announce it?
Well, yes, we have to.
The OBIC Prize goes to Acumen Research Laboratories.
Woo! Wow, that's a bit of excitement.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, look, a big run to the stage. Oh, you can jump if you like. You can run around.
Okay, we're going around the long way. Around the long way. Keep it going. Okay. Lots of excitement here tonight.
There you go. Lap of honor.
Okay.
Yes.
Can we get a 一言お願いできますか?
I'd like to read through my new paper. So thank you very much for inviting this important event. So this is the first time for OBIC to make a prize. So we are very honored to be here to celebrate this important event. The reason why we nominate Accelerator Research Accelerator Research 何でしたっけ? Accelerator Research Industries Laboratories. At first, let me introduce you to the OBIC. OBIC is a non-profit organization established in 2001, mainly established by Osaka City and Osaka Prefectural Government and Osaka Chamber of Commerce and Industry to attract more foreign direct investment into Osaka area. So the last 18 years, we successfully invited more than 500 companies here in Osaka. Then our target is to invite business criteria is one is life science, and also another target is manufacturing companies. So because in Osaka area, a lot of SME companies here in Osaka. So I just heard their business strategy today in this session. then I understood that maybe in the future, they are trying to expand their business base in Osaka. So because of they would like to make made in Japan products to proceed their business kit or examination product. So that is why we'd like to support their business base to set up here in Osaka, and we would like to willing to encourage their business proceeding here in Osaka. Once again, congratulations and thank you very much for coming to Osaka. Thank you very much.
Okay, fantastic. So I bet everybody here is feeling really good right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a group photo at the end. Are you? Oh, Alan?
Well, I'd like to hear from Sua first, how she's feeling. Can we do that?
Yes.
Let's hear that.
Absolutely. I'm very, very pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed this session very much. I keep a very open mind, so I'm really, really thankful and honored to be receiving this prize. I want to say that I'll do my very best. The aim of HackOsaka is that I wanted to reach every single patient in the world that needs it.
Nice, thank you. Alan, sorry.
I've been asked to make a few closing remarks. First, I'd like to thank those in the audience who are still with us, who have been here all day, supporting the activities and the entrepreneurs. To all of the entrepreneurs who've traveled from around the world to be here with us today. This is now the 7th year of the event and the 7th time that I've had the honor of leading the judging panel. And both Oscar and Chris have joined me once before. And I think you would agree that compared to last time, and for me each year, the difficulty of choosing a winner gets harder and harder. The other thing, Christine mentioned both on the panel discussion and in her remarks now that how happy she is to see women entrepreneurs participating in this conference. And there is a bit of a trend emerging perhaps that last year for the first time we had a woman entrepreneur win the grand prize, an entrepreneur from Israel. And now this is the 2nd year running when the quality of problem, the depth of work on it, the stage at which the stage the company has reached that gives us confidence in its future. So it's our second time in a row to have a woman entrepreneur. And again, as I had said, it was not difficult for us to pick this one out as the one that we wanted to honor this year. Picking a 2nd place winner and a 3rd place winner and going, it was very, very difficult to pick because all of the companies, all of the problems you're addressing, the quality of the presentation, the clear quality of where you are with your business was very, very competitive this year. So again, thank you all for coming. Diane, thank you for livening it up now for the 7th year. And thank you all for being with us today.
Thank you, Alan. And congratulations to everybody. So while we're all on stage, shall we take a group photo?
Let's take a group photo. So we'll get our judges and all of our startups back up on stage to take a photo.
Judges, panelists,
if you guys want to take photos too, please come on down. So, we'll need you to share them on Dropbox again.
Yeah. Prize winners.
So all startups, judges, please come on stage.
To the front.
So startups in front? Yeah.
Thank you. Secret pocket.
And all of our panelists too, please. The more the merrier.
Oh, nice. Look at this. So professional. Ooh.
Where's the photographer? I saw her walking around. Oh, there she is. I guess that more like this?
Head over this way. Oh, hello. Oh.
No dog.
They asked those people.
The what?
The no theater dog?
Oh, exactly. We're going this way. Shuffle. Everybody shuffling.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Is it? You're so clever. Okay, check your makeup. We're all looking good.
Where are we supposed to look?
I know.
There's
Which way?
photography.
Right, go for the center.
Look there. Everyone look up.
There you go.
Hey!
We're getting a wave. Okay.
Look at the biggest camera.
Osaka! Osaka! Thank you, thank you. Congratulations, everybody. Lovely, lovely. Okay, so unfortunately, that does bring us to the end of the, that does bring us to the end of today's event, but I hope you had a good time. Did everybody have a good time?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you for throwing your voice there. There. So now we're going to start the networking party. I think it's already started. And that is going to be held down on the first floor at Sohom Cafe and Dining. It's the first floor of this building. But do note that only the registered attendees will be allowed to join the party, so you can't bring 20 of your friends, sorry. Thank you all for coming today, and hope to see you all again at this event next year. Please fill out your questionnaires if you haven't already, and don't forget to hand back your translation headphones. And we'll see you at the networking party. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. See you next time.
See you next year. Please sign up to meet the startups tomorrow. まだあと残り10分ぐらいで明日のビジネスマッチングができますので、ぜひぜひスタートアップと話してください。
Yes.
ありがとうございます。
Bye. See you.